The Rockefellers really have the educational system in a chokehold.
Now, the reason I say this is I just learned the other day about Rockefeller collaboration with the Philadelphia public school system.
So, through a veneer of activism and philanthropy for underprivileged children, we have Jay Z, a mogul, partnering with another mogul, Jeff Yaz, to bring improvements to the Philadelphia public school system. However, critics are calling this a scam, and they're saying that this is nothing but funneling public money to private and charter schools through one of the school choice flim-flam scams. Why Philadelphia? Philadelphia is always on some 6 degrees of separation. And yes, Kevin Bacon is a Philly John. It's a city of neighborhoods. We all know each other in a strange way. Yes, your parents knew the Cosbys growing up. No biggie, right? It's just what it is in Philadelphia. A lot of them, when I was making these connections, they have something to do with education. But I will make those connections eventually, okay? So let's start with Jay-Z. First of all, he is a New Yorker, and they say Philly is what, the sixth borough of New York. So maybe we'll say he has a natural interest in Philadelphia. We'll say that. Now, another interesting thing about Jay-Z, he has a penchant for the Rockefellers. I can get into some esoteric things, but there's something there, okay? Rock Nation, Rockefeller, Rockefellers, the family. It's a lot of hidden black Rockefellers. And I've talked about this before, but Camille Cosby, Bill Cosby's wife, she is a Rockefeller. She's a black Rockefeller. Her name is Hanks. If you go back and look into her family tree, she is a Rockefeller. I stumbled on the Camille Cosby connection as being a black Rockefeller because I went to Spelman, and all of the buildings at Spelman are named after Rockefeller women. Spelman is a Rockefeller woman because they founded or put the money up for the founding of Spelman. So Camille has buildings named after her, and I should have made the connection sooner, but yes, there are about 200 living Rockefellers, and a few of them are black. It's just an interesting detail. The Cosbys have contributed to education, educational programming for many decades. In fact, Bill Cosby was one of the original cast members for Sesame Street. I grew up on Sesame Street. And also Matt Robinson, you probably know Holly Robinson Pete, that was her dad, her late father from Philadelphia, and he was also involved in Sesame Street. So you have a lot of this educational stuff going on, big institution, and when you watch a lot of that programming, you will hear that the endowments and grants are coming from the Rockefeller Foundation. So back to Jay-Z and his connection with the Rockefellers, Philadelphia, and education. Jay-Z, his company Rock Nation, I hear, will have concerts and raise money for this educational effort in Philadelphia. And you might have heard that he used to have a festival called Made in America in Philadelphia. It's not happening anymore. I don't know the reason why, but they did stop that festival. So he will be having concerts, I hear, scheduled soon for this new endeavor in Philadelphia. Another thing that was interesting, I heard about Jay-Z at the time that he became a Freemason. When he went over, he did so in the Prince Hall big temple in Philadelphia on Broad Street. And I thought that was rather interesting. Now I ask you, do you think that the Rockefellers have the best interest of the children of Philadelphia and their education, or any children for that matter? When I think about the Rockefellers and their role in America, it's been to suppress things like real health care and also to miseducate our doctors, nurses, and just to pretty much like get rid of holistic naturopathic medicine. So I think about the fact that there are a lot of cloaked people that they work within, their enemies within. Now, I'm not assuming that Camille Cosby is an enemy just because she has a handle right there. Doesn't mean she's a handler. You know, some women are. You have to look at the women. But I'm not implying that with her. I'm just saying that I'm thinking about it being a Washington and looking at some of the things that aren't comfortable with the Washington family and our role in America, because it happens very subtle. It's a subtle deception. And some people don't know that they are being a Judas. I mean, Judas, he regretted betraying Jesus. But those 30 pieces of silver were very enticing. And I just want to say that I'm really thinking about people that are within, because we can always look without and see the enemy clearly and, hate the enemy and all of that stuff. But when we really look at the issue of how did we get betrayed, it always starts with a kiss, right? It always starts with someone close. So I want to just make that point, and I'll be looking into this more, okay? Tell me what you think. All in all, I know it's not comfortable to think about the fact that we have enemies within. We have enemies in our families that invite the outsider, the wolf, to the block party. And that is how slavery happened, I believe. A lot of things that have been human atrocities, it happens when somebody within wants something material and they are willing to betray for whatever, maybe fame, maybe, influence, power. But it always turns out to be betrayal from someone close. And that's how it happens, because it has to happen that way. It only makes sense. Someone outside can't get to you as easy, right? So this is something we all have to think about when we look at history and we look at things that are happening even today. Who are the enemies within?